Who wants to volunteer next? Historical, go ahead. You want to get out of it too, won't you?
Well, mine will probably be short.
See, we're all.
Well, our request for this year, Michael does have copies. Do we have a copy? Everybody has copies. The first one that we have is for the highway markers.
Okay, see if that works.
Sorry. The first request we have is for the highway markers. And we have really a lot of information for what we want for the next several years. We're asking for this year for $3,045, which would be for 2 markers. It's also a setup charge. In your package, you have the signs that we would like to have for this year, and some of the wording that might be on theirs, on the first 2. Do you have any questions? I mean, that's basically what we want. And then we, show it for the next several years.
If you remember last year, they had made this request and there was not information provided to support it. So what they've done this year is provided us the supporting documents, such as the highway marker signs, should be in the package. Yeah, so it should be, there's. So you can see basically proposing a 1, 2, 3, 4-year process, of which 2 to 3 signs per year. With the first at Bruce's Crossroads and Alexander Strong Martin House, and next year 2 more, and 2 more, and 2 more.
And these are similar to the ones in Oak Ridge, if you have seen those. And they've just gotten two up, I think, within the last year or 2.
We had talked about, with the setup fee, that since we would be ordering over such a length of time, did you find out that the setup fee will be just the one time?
That is our understanding.
Okay, so even though the orders are gonna be spread out so
That's
significantly.
correct. And the setup fee was not that much. What
No,
was it, $125?
The only thing I thought of when I looked at this, I just thought Town Hall might have been one of the first signs instead of one of the last signs,
Yeah.
since the town is putting them up, but that was, I know you guys had reasons for why you picked where you picked, but that was
Really
just
the
one.
most historical
Mhm.
areas, and they would both be right in this area. Bruce's Crossroads would probably be here, and the Martin House would be here too. So both of them would be right here at the town hall. And this is a very visible area, so much traffic coming through here.
Are these marked on both sides or just one side of the sign?
Should be marked on both sides.
So the
Bill
same,
says yes.
so the same information's on both sides?
Mhm.
Is there any possibility that they could have different information on both sides? So like you could have Bruce's Crossroads on one side and Martin House on the other? So you have one sign?
Maybe a different setup.
Would you want that? I've never seen that.
Well, I was just thinking about the fact that
So many are
there's so
right
many of
there.
them would be right here that you're almost creating a safety issue with if all these 3 properties end up being marked, plus Bruce's Crossroads, that's like one on every corner basically. You may lose something in the process.
You just gotta decide what you want, this is a historical area. Do you want the signs in this area? And if you look at some of the others, George Washington's Southern Tour,
Where would you propose that one to be?
that one. Where would that one be?
Where would that one be?
I don't know, it could be 2 or 3 different places. It doesn't have to be, right here.
It came down
could be-
essentially 150,
yeah.
right?
Could be up that way. We certainly want within the Summerfield limits.
Well, certainly.
Aren't they normally placed where the structure was? Aren't these historical markers, they're normally in the vicinity of the structure, where the structure was, correct?
Well, that would be just like the George Washington Southern Tour could be several places along the road that he traveled, you know, with, I was introduced to Alice Peterson is here from the History Committee, and also Bill Gordon, and so they can help maybe with some of these questions.
Who puts up those brown signs on the highway, the state
Those
historic
are the,
district?
There's one down
Anybody put that?
in front of the Bruce Cemetery, that is a state. sign.
right, but that's not one of the brown ones that you're referring
No, you see
to. The highway marker signs.
Highway marker.
Those, they're black, the ones in Oak Ridge are black.
Yeah, we're talking about two different apples and
Yeah.
oranges. The one that you're referring to is like these, is historic markers. What you're referring to are the highway markers, the highway
Historic
signs.
site.
That's it. Typically, those are put up in conjunction with the DOT that, and typically you see the brown and white is kind of the standard for parks and historical districts.
There's some people that actually take these, follow these historical signs and
Right.
tours.
Right.
If we're gonna go to the trouble to put up these markers, you know, you want somebody, probably decide Summerfield people to see this marker. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and actually, I think the committee this year is working on a brochure that depicts a lot of the historic properties in Summerfield that I assume would go along with this plan here, so that they would merge together into a trail essentially.
But you
Is
know,
that correct? Is it-
We just selected the best known and the most historic structures and areas to put signs on.
I'd say if it's one on 220, one of those brown signs I'm talking about, Michael knows obviously what I'm talking about. Because the historic district, a lot of people from Reedsville like them and read the
Right.
history of Summerfield. That's what I'm getting at.
It may be a request of the DOT.
Put it more for the national, for the district itself.
Right.
That would point people to the district, and once they're in the district, they see these signs.
Yeah, well, we had talked
You gotta
about,
spend the money to do it.
we had talked about, you know, putting entrances to the historical district, but that, money-wise, we're not going to do that. So,
One thing I personally would like to see, not necessarily before it gets funded, but if the decision is made to fund this project, is to actually see a physical location map of where the, you know, people have decided the signs would be, so that, you know, it doesn't become an eyesore. So that you look at, you know, if we're gonna, since we are talking about the corner right here, if you're gonna put one off down this road, or how you're gonna position them, so they actually physically position, so it doesn't become an eyesore, it would be nice,
well, we certainly, the committee would certainly not want an eyesore,
yeah.
not after the time and energy that's been put into the historical district. And you have to put them where the history is. You have to do that. But, you know, we've certainly been careful, and all of the committee is very history-minded. That's why they're on the committee. So, you know, I don't really, we're not gonna cram them all in one yard.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is just, it would make the approval by council easier if they could actually see the physical layout, and it would make, I think, the discussions go quicker, so that they,
I
Are you
think
saying you need a master plan?
yeah.
most of them are self-explanatory. And like I said, some of the others, like George Washington Southern Tour, there are several miles that you could put it
Yeah.
and pick the best place. I mean, we could do something, I guess, sort of a general
I think you
plan,
could
if
do
you
a
feel
master
like you need
plan
that.
of all the sites that are gonna have highway markers on it, and do a master plan, and then you can pick locations
Yeah.
and the order that you want to put them.
Because
How long
Big
pictorial,
number of years coming up.
How long it take you guys to get that together?
How much time you got?
You never know.
because pictorial, you know, images go, you know, go a little further when you're asking somebody to approve the plan and so forth.
Well,
Like in the next 30 days, could you just pinpoint where the various ones would be going?
what do you put in general, I mean, the
Yeah.
houses that we want
Well, we know
marked,
the
we know
houses.
where they are.
Right, the question
The
is
other,
where along
I guess
the-
we can pick some spots. Yeah,
And where
okay.
along that frontage you
What would
want.
y'all
Yeah,
like
cause
down
like,
what we-
you know, would you want it down the road, or would you actually want it on the corner, you know, and those were just things that the committee would present to council, and then council can of course say yea or nay.